Okay, here we are, Matthew Russell Lee, Inner City Press, here at the Southern District of New York Courthouse. Today, Tuesday, April 15th, 2025. Now, yesterday there was, as we had said, the Sean Combs pretrial conference. It had been moved up from Friday. There's still going to be one Friday that we're going to cover, but it was moved up because over the weekend, not into the docket, his lawyers, which may soon include Mark Garagos, apparently. We wrote a little piece on that, tying Mark Garagos to the Avenatti Nike situation. In any event, Team Combs may be wanting to delay not the May 5th jury selection, but the May 12th opening statements. Now, that would be weird. If somebody's selected for this jury, then they're supposed to, 2 weeks they go back to work, and then they come off for 8 weeks? I don't know. Basically, they were pressing that the government should get all of the emails, WhatsApps, and other messages of a particular victim witness and turn them over to them. The law seems to say that what the government has in its possession has to be turned over, not that they have to go out affirmatively and get things. There may also be a subpoena filed by Team Diddy. That would be due by Wednesday, which is tomorrow. So we're covering that. Also today, the opening statements and the first witnesses in the retrial of Sarah Palin versus the New York Times. It's going to be great. I don't know. I covered the first trial. It was interesting. This one, because of the reversal on appeal, involved Editor Bennett and Colorado Senator and presumptive, possible, putative Governor Bennett. He's not going to give up his Senate seat to run for governor. It's interesting you can do that. That information can come in, and also what Bennett knew and when about her non-involvement in targeting Gabby Giffords so long ago. Hopefully we're not subjecting ourselves to defamation by this reporting. In any event, we'll be covering that. Nadine Menendez, the trial is off today and tomorrow, although today is the charge conference, and Thursday will be the closing arguments, U.S. versus Nadine Menendez. Now, there's been some filings in the Luigi Mangione case, including a notice of appearance of yet another government lawyer. And just now, as I left to come in, the government's response to Team Mangione's motion to exclude in advance the death penalty, tying it to Instagram and etc. So we'll be writing on that, actually, probably during the Palin opening arguments. Jury selection in Harvey Weinstein. That will be in the building right behind me there, the tall one, 100 Center Street. Not sure we're going to cover jury selection, but we will be covering some parts of the trial, so be looking for that. And the United Nations, we continue to cover them. We cover them closely. And I have to say, this is a substantive piece. Of course, it's about UN failure as well, but in Darfur, which I visited in about, 2010, something like that, when the UN had an enormous presence there, huge base in El Fasher with the then SRSG, Ibrahim Gambari, living in an enormous house with big pillows. The UN was there. They accomplished almost nothing, and now massive displacement and death. Of course, the UN is deeply concerned, but what people need to ask about the UN is, where did all the money go? What happened with all the time they were there? Why do they fail everywhere they go, including Haiti, DRC? Of course, some of these are thankless tasks, but start somewhere, do something somewhere, and stop banning the press. That's how they roll. It's a litmus test. Antonio Guterres has almost killed the United Nations. He should be forced to reverse many of his policies before he leaves, and the next Secretary General better be better. In any event, Inner City Press, we're going in.